The murder of Charlie Kirk is the latest in a string of acts of political violence in recent years.
Take a look at what happened.
Prior to that attempt, the president was grazed by a bullet during a 2024 campaign event in Pennsylvania.
Keep walking!
Today, opening statements began in the trial of Ryan Routh. He is the man accused of plotting to kill President Trump at his West Palm Beach golf club last year. Just 3 months ago, a masked gunman killed Democratic Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman along with her husband and dog.
If he was trying to terrorize our family, our friends, the Jewish community who joined us for a Passover Seder in that room last night.
And in April, a man was charged in an antisemitic arson attack on the residence of Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro while he and his family were asleep inside. Joining us now is Ken Craycraft, a moral theology professor at Mount St. Mary's Seminary and School of Theology. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Veronica. It's nice to be with you.
So we just did that recap. We are seeing more and more acts of political violence. Is this the new normal, and how did we get here?
Well, you know what, Veronica, I hate to be the voice of pessimism, but I do think that this is the new normal. And the way that I here, I think, is rooted in the very way that we structure our political lives together. I think we have to have the courage to admit that the political violence and the way that each side gets further entrenched in their own political rhetoric and political ideology every time we see this is an indication that we aren't interested in engaging in what might be a real solution to political violence. We Americans believe that we are possessed of certain unalienable rights, as the Declaration of Independence puts it. Another way of thinking about that, Veronica, is we are endowed with certain claims against one another. In other words, the language of individual political rights, which is the staple of the liberalism from the left and the right in the U.S., is a language that teaches us that we are not a community, but rather a collection of individuals in pursuit of our own individual goods. When those individual goods are impeded by someone else, and we don't have the political rhetoric to be able to respond to it, and we find ourselves unable to negotiate the extent of the rights that we want to uphold, then we see, first of all, violent rhetoric, and then we see the rhetoric acted out. And when I use the term liberalism here, Veronica, I don't mean what we usually mean at the left of the political spectrum, usually associated with Democrats. By liberalism, I mean a commitment to possessive individualism in which we think that we're endowed with certain claims against one another. And as long as that's the case, then the best we can do is sort of come up with a social compact that will agree to forego some of our rights in exchange for the other person foregoing some of their rights. But we don't have in America any kind of overarching moral principle which adjudicates among those rights. And so when we have a conflict of rights, both sides thinking that we have an absolute claim to our rights, then we find ourselves unable to negotiate around that, and that leads to political violence. So as I said at the outset, I think that we need to have the courage to ask whether or not the political rhetoric in the U.S. from both sides is a symptom of the same basic problem of the way that we think about politics in general in the U.S. And that's very different from the way that Catholic moral theology thinks about the human person, about our lives together, and about other kinds of social issues.
Ken Craycraft, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Veronica.